Now at 9, Hezbollah has confirmed the death of Hassan Nasrallah, what they will do for their future.
And New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been charged with 5 counts. Learn the latest developments.
The first and only scheduled vice presidential debate is tomorrow. What regulations are being set?
And a chemical fire has broken out in Georgia. We have the details.
And I'll be tracking the clearer skies moving into the region this week. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Sophie Schick.
And I'm Wyatt Mayer.
Hezbollah will choose a leader to succeed Hassan Nasrallah as soon as possible, the group's highest-ranking official said in a televised speech today.
We will choose a Secretary General for the party as soon as possible and according to the mechanism previously adopted by the party, and we will fill the leadership positions, but reassured that the options will be easy because it's obvious and because we are all of one heart.
This follows the confirmed death of Hassan Nasrallah, according to Hezbollah. Today, Israel says it's launched new airstrikes in eastern and southern Lebanon. Israeli troops will be focused on Lebanese villages along the border to remove, quote, immediate threats, including Hezbollah's ability to infiltrate northern Israel.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams is seeking to dismiss the federal bribery charge against him. Adams was charged with 5 counts last week, including bribery, wire fraud, conspiracy, and 2 counts of soliciting campaign contributions from foreign nationals. Prosecutors accused him of using his power and influence to garner free trips and stays at luxury hotels. But in the new court filing, his attorneys argued the allegations in the indictment, quote, do not amount to a federal crime at all. The motion does not seek a dismissal of the remaining counts. However, the mayor's attorneys wrote those charges are, quote, equally meritless.
Also in New York City, a man who spent decades in prison for a murder he did not commit has finally been set free.
And the most precious commodity in this world is not gold or platinum or even cash. It's time, because people's lives are measured by the time that we have on this earth.
A judge vacated for the conviction for John Adrian Velasquez and dismissed the case against him. Velasquez was convicted for the 1998 murder of a retired police detective. The judge cited the results of newly discovered DNA testing, which was not available at the time of Velasquez's trial. The results of that DNA testing could have impacted the jury's consideration of other trial evidence, including Velasquez's alibi and the fact that no other evidence connected him to the crime. In 2021, then Governor Andrew Cuomo commuted Velasquez's sentence and he was freed from state prison. But he was still wrongfully branded as a convicted felon and was serving a parole sentence for a crime he did not commit.
The only scheduled debate between the vice presidential nominees is set for tomorrow night. The high-stakes 90-minute matchup between Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Republican Senator J.D. Vance will air on CBS News. According to the network, unlike the presidential debates, the candidates' microphones will not be muted. There will be no opening statements and no studio audience. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer each question, and the other candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. 1 minute will be allowed for additional rebuttals. An additional minute to continue a topic may be given at the moderator's discretion.
You know, all of this talk about New York, I hear that it's usually pretty chilly there, but lately it's been a little cold here, and I'm not a fan of it.
You know, I'm honestly so glad we're moving away from that hot weather. Let's go check in with Jay to see how the next few days are going to look like.
Yes, thank you, too. Taking a look at current conditions into the high 60s, even low 70s across most of Indiana. Indianapolis, 68, Muncie, 69, 70 up towards Lafayette, South Bend, Chicago. A little bit warmer out west into Illinois, where we did see some 80s earlier today. Now, the next 12 hours are going to gradually cool down just as it does as it gets further into the night. And we're going to be seeing those lows right into those low 60s, pretty comfortable and calm tonight. And then what we're going to be tracking throughout the show is those clearer skies moving into the region this week, those calm conditions also moving into the region, and then the near normal temperatures returning.
Thanks, Jay. President Joe Biden is planning to visit some of the areas ravaged by Hurricane Helene later this week. He said he will go once he's confident his visit will not interrupt emergency operations. In the meantime, Biden vowed the federal government will provide resources to affected areas for as long as it takes to get them back on their feet.
I want them to know we're not leaving until the job is done. I also want you to know I'm committed to traveling to the impacted areas as soon as possible, but I've been told that it would be disruptive if I did it right now. We will not do that at the risk of diverting or delaying any of the response assets needed to deal with this crisis. My first responsibility is to get all the help needed to those impacted areas, and I expect to be there.
Biden has approved emergency declarations for Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, and Alabama. At least 115 people have died across 6 states, and officials fear the death toll will rise. Hundreds of roads remain closed, hampering the delivery of badly needed supplies. More than 2 million customers remain without power, according to Power Outage US.
A dangerous chemical fire near Atlanta, Georgia is forcing about 90,000 people to shelter in place. About 17,000 people in Conyers evacuated yesterday because of a fire at an industrial plant. The Rockdale County Sheriff says water from a broken sprinkler head came in contact with a chemical that reacts with water and created a plume. Early today, authorities reported harmful levels of chlorine in the air around the facility. People in neighboring counties also reported the smell of bleach and chemicals in the air. The company that owns the plant says all employees are accounted for and no injuries were reported.
Americans may soon have trouble finding some of their favorite foods and popular products.
A major port strike could start this week, preventing these items from getting to retailers.
Days after Congress prevented a government shutdown, the U.S. economy is facing another potential challenge this week. Union workers at 36 facilities covered by 14 port authorities from Maine to Texas are threatening to walk off the job. The deadline is 12:01 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and it could be the most disruptive strike the U.S. has seen in nearly 5 decades. Economists say the potential strike would impact supplies of items like chocolate, alcohol, fruits, hot peppers, and European cars.
Thousands of Verizon users were without cell phone service this morning following a widespread outage.
More than 104,000 users across the U.S. reported having little or no service.
That's according to Down Detector, which tracks user reports of internet disruptions. The outage reportedly impacted a large swath of the Midwest, along with several major cities, including Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, New York, and Phoenix. Many users said their cell phones were intermittently displaying SOS mode, leaving them unable to place calls or send or receive text messages. Verizon said that it was aware of an issue impacting service and says it's working quickly to resolve it.
Coming up, we have a story on Heartland's annual Alzheimer's Walk. Learn more about their efforts.
And Medicare patients may see price drops this week. We have the reason why coming up on NewsLink Indiana.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. A local fundraising event works to highlight a sense of community and hope for those affected by Alzheimer's.
NewsLink Indiana's Aiden Murray has the story.
In downtown Muncie, the Walk to End Alzheimer's was in full swing this past weekend, bringing together a community of caregivers and loved ones.
In so many ways. That's what I love about Walk. There's a place for everyone. So we have volunteers that are part of our committee that help do the outreach to raise funds. We have folks that plan this great event and all of the activities the day of and help make sure that we deliver a great guest experience. And like marketing and promoting the event. We have the participants that show up, that start a team to raise the funds and raise the awareness and then come out and walk in honor of their loved ones on Walk Day. And we have the donors that then give to those participants and teams that may never see this event. So it's just a growing circle and there's so many different ways to get involved.
The Walk has become the second largest peer-to-peer fundraising event in the country and is put on by the Alzheimer's Association, bringing in plenty of volunteers.
Yeah, so I've seen the Walk here at Cannon Commons in the past, multiple years in the past. Was never directly involved with it. I don't have a direct connection to anyone that has lived with dementia in my family, so it was not something that was on my forefront of my mind. But I was approached by some of the leadership of the Alzheimer's Association, and they asked me if I wanted to enhance that involvement and get involved with the executive leadership team. I was a little hesitant at first, just because I didn't really know what impacts I could have, but I must say the last 12 months has been amazing. Just getting to know everyone that has a really passionate connection to it and just being a supporter for them as well.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's connects those in need with support and a sense of community.
I think it gives them so much. I think it breaks down stigma so that they see that they're not alone, that communities can be a safe and welcoming place for people who are living with Alzheimer's and dementia. And of course it connects them to the association. So they learn about resources like the helpline, they can get involved with clinical trials, they can find support groups. So it's a great day of celebration, but it just is such a great door opener to make sure people have other resources.
For more information and future events, visit alz.org. For news.
If you want to support the Alzheimer's Association in their efforts, visit act.alz.org.
Hundreds of thousands of Medicare patients across the U.S. will be seeing lower prices on dozens of prescription drugs. Today, the Biden administration announced Medicare Part B enrollees will pay less for 54 prescription drugs. Many of those drugs are used to treat cancer, osteoporosis, pneumonia, and other conditions. The cuts are possible through a provision in the Inflation Reduction Act, making drug companies pay rebates if they raise Medicare prices faster than the rate of inflation. Patients will start seeing the price drops this week.
A state judge in Fulton County near Atlanta ruled today Georgia can no longer enforce its ban on abortion that took effect in 2022. Governor Brian Kemp had signed the measure in 2019, but legal challenges kept it from taking effect until 2022. And now a judge has ruled that a woman has the power to control her own body and to reject state interference with her health choices. But the judge also said that power has limits. He said the state must regulate abortions as they were before the new law took effect. That means abortions would be allowed until about 22 weeks of pregnancy.
And coming up after the break, I'll have more on those clear and calm conditions moving into our area throughout the week.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house,
giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. You can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. Another tropical storm is brewing in the Atlantic. As of today, the National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Kirk has a top wind speed of 55 miles per hour. But it is expected to quickly strengthen and become a hurricane by tomorrow morning and possibly a Category 3 hurricane by Wednesday. Forecasters say Kirk is expected to churn in the ocean and not touch land. It is the 11th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. Hurricane season officially ends on November 30th. Let's go to Jay Lessick for a look at our weather.
Yes, and we even saw a bit of the remnants of that hurricane this weekend with those very blustery winds. Those are going to calm down now the further we head into the week. Looking at our current conditions to start off with, we have 68 in Indianapolis, 69 up towards Muncie, 70s further north and west you go in the state, and then further into the 70s out west into Illinois. They even had some temperatures up in the 80s. So the almanac for today, we reached a high of 72. We are right on par with the average of 74. Down here, the record of 92 back in 2019. Not very close to that, and we're not going to be setting any records in the immediate future here. We're going to be mostly right around that average to maybe slightly above or below depending on the day. These next 12 hours, it's going to cool down throughout the night to a nice mid to low 60s low for you overnight. It's already 67 by 10 p.m., and that's just going to continue to slide throughout the night. For our overnight, that low of 61 degrees. It's going to be very calm, though. If you can see that 5 mile an hour out of the northeast, very much welcomed given what we had gone through Friday and parts of Saturday. Clearer skies as well, partly cloudy conditions. And then we're going to go into tomorrow, 8 a.m. You're up and ready to go to work, take the kids to school, 61 degrees, nice and sunny, very clear. By noon, lunchtime, 73 degrees, partly cloudy conditions. Again, those calm winds, we're going to be seeing nothing more than about 5, maybe 10 mile an hour gusts tomorrow. By 5 p.m., 77. We could even push up to 78, 79. And we could also have a slight shower or two in the mix tomorrow. And speaking of showers, sticking on that, our normal rains as of September 30th for the month of September, 2.99 inches of rain. We actually recovered very well with those remnants of the tropical system. 2.37 is what we finished the month of September with. So very good recovery done in that aspect. Now for our precision cast, it's going to show those showers maybe taper off throughout Tuesday, a couple rounds possible throughout the afternoon. These are going to be very brief showers, and then after that, it's just going to continue to be nice and clear. This thing is still going, the time is still moving, but we don't even have cloud cover or rain. It's going to be a very clear and nice, mild week. And for those temperatures, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we're seeing those above average temperatures further out west as opposed to our area where we're going to be sitting right at average. And then for that 7 day, those average temperatures all in the 70s continue. Take a look at some of these lows, especially tomorrow and for Wednesday, in the 40s. So we're finally starting to see that fall weather creep in. 77 Friday into the weekend, low to mid 70s, and then that's just going to continue into next week where we're going to be seeing some continued mid to low 70s temperatures. And I don't know about you, but I welcome these temperatures. Especially after this weekend with all that wind, I am just kind of excited for this calm conditions.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the 70s, but the wind on Friday and Saturday was insane. I thought I was going to get swept off the sidewalk and into the wind. It was insane.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I can't recall how many times I almost flew out into the street just by how windy it was. But I'm certainly glad that it's getting colder because that just means my outfits are gonna get a lot better and nicer.
Absolutely, and we were still seeing those power outages as well through parts of Indiana on Friday. I believe those are all back in store now, but still a very potent system.
Yeah, I went home over the weekend and my lights flickered a time or two, but other than that, we're all good here.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Jay.
No worries.
There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Stephen Grata has a preview of sports.
The basketball world mourns the loss of a legend while one Ball State team flies into the season with new threads. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality.
Oh,
Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Stephen Grotto with sports. The basketball world is mourning the death of Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo. It was announced this morning that Mutombo, who is known for his signature finger wag after a block, lost a battle to brain cancer at the age of 58. The 7'2" center played 18 seasons in the NBA, claiming top defensive player 4 times. By the time his career was over, Mutombo ranked 20th in career rebounds and 2nd in career blocks. After his playing days, Mutombo was a known humanitarian worker who developed the Basketball Africa League. The Hall of Famer leaves behind a legacy of finger wags and charitable works that will forever be immortalized in the eyes of NBA fans. To keep things on the hardwood, Ball State men's basketball will look a bit different this year. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Garcia caught up with the squad at Media Day to learn more.
With a new season comes new jerseys, and as Michael Lewis quoted Coach Prime,
What does Coach Prime say? Look good, feel good, play good. You play good, they pay good, whatever that stuff is.
This season, the Cards will flock to the nest to debut a brand new starting lineup of fresh jerseys. The new rotation features a black jersey with red lettering and numbers, a white outline, and a red trim.
I love the font a lot, and I feel, and if you don't have like some swag, dude, I don't think you're gonna feel as good about your game. So this is definitely some awesome stuff.
And to counter, a gray jersey with red lettering and numbers, a white outline, and a red and white trim.
I love them, man. I like the gray ones especially. I first seen them, I think it was either last night or a couple of nights ago online, so yeah, I like the gray ones a lot.
Even Coach is a fan of the new feathers the Cardinals will don this season.
I kind of dig the black. You know, I think when you put the top and the shorts together, I think it's a pretty sharp look.
And as sharp as they may be, Coach only has one hope when his guys are in them.
I just play hard. Play hard, compete, you know, give ourselves the best chance to win.
Ball State will first show off their new threads at Georgia State on November 4th. In Muncie, Jake Garcia, NewsLink, Indiana.
Women's volleyball opened up conference play over the weekend as they hosted Bowling Green in a 2-game series. The Cardinals, who returned 4 of their 6 starters from last season, fell in a 5-set heartbreaker on Friday evening, taking the first and fourth set from the Falcons. Saturday was more of the same as the ladies were swept in straight sets. Despite the defeat over the weekend, head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips knows it's still early on in the season.
We've got to make sure that we are really working hard to get our young guys experience. I thought our non-con did a good job of that, but it's still different come MAC play. So every single time out there is a learning experience for whether you're a senior, a 5th year, or a freshman.
The Cardinals, who now sit at 7-6 on the year, will look to bounce back as they travel to Mount Pleasant Friday for a weekend series against Central Michigan. Those new basketball threads are just so cool. I mean, the lettering, the embroidery is just so great.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a big sports fan, so when I'm looking to root for a team, I pick whoever has the cutest jerseys on, and I think Ball State might be a top contender now.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's just poetic. Something about a new season, new look. You know, it really says something about this team for this year.
Yeah, and you know, like they said in the video, look good, feel good, play good, pay good, pay good, live good, die good. So that's step 1 is getting these new jerseys here. So.
I mean, I don't know how you remember all of that or how anyone on earth does, but so true. Thank you so much. After the break, Cameron Noe has a look at your campus coverage.
And we have a final look at weather. Stay with us.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Cameron Noe, and this is your campus coverage. The Latinx Student Union consistently holds events in order to make students at Ball State feel at home and remind them of their culture. With Ball State being a very diverse campus, some students may struggle to find their place and find a sense of culture. LSU aims to give students exactly what they may be looking for. They have open arms for all students regardless of where they come from. The Vice President, Natalia Ramos, explains the significance of community for students just like her.
I went to a school that was predominantly white, so I was missing like that community because I grew up with a very large Hispanic community, and it just kind of went away as soon as I moved schools. So coming to Ball State, I was looking for a way to find myself back in that community.
If you would like to get involved with this organization, search LSU on BennyLink.
You know, it certainly makes me proud to be part of a university that helps students get a place to feel welcome and at home.
Yeah, it's obviously really cool to have a place where you can feel involved, so.
Yeah, I think it's really important for students to feel at home when they, are away from home.
Right. Thank you, Cameron. And now we're going to have one final look at our weather.
Thank you at the desk. One more look at our 7-day forecast here. It's going to be very mild and calm throughout, which is what we like to hear given what we just went through this weekend with all that rain and wind. Couple of chances for a spotty shower tomorrow, but then after that with your 78 degrees, it's going to be into the 70s throughout the rest of that 7-day, very nice and sunny throughout the entirety of the week.
And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.